everyone. Hi, this is Deb Brown with Savior.town. Today I have the distinct pleasure of visiting with Julie Worley from Colorado. Hey, Julie, share with everybody who you are and what you're doing.
Okay, I'm Julie Worley. I work in the 6 counties of Southeast Colorado. We border Oklahoma and Kansas in the southeast corner. We work in about a 94 square mile area, so we have lots of windshield time, and we cover 22 counties working with the youth in an entrepreneurship program. We call it the Youth Entrepreneurship Project, or YEP, Y-E-P for short. And we started the project in school year 2014, 2015. And we would go into the schools and we would do after school workshops. We do Friday, Saturday workshops. And we called them entrepreneurship camps. And we would talk to in this program, the YEP, we covered the 5th through the 12th grade. So we would mostly work with the 5th through 8th graders in the what we call the camps, entrepreneurship camps, after school or on a Friday or a Saturday. And we would, the first question we would ask the little kiddos is, can you think of any problem in your community that needs solved, or a new business you need, and how would you solve that? And that's how we began to instill entrepreneurship in their little minds. And of course, when you got 5th graders, they think nothing of paying $300,000 for the building on Main Street and you're going to sell ice cream cones, or make lemonade and you're going to buy a food truck for $50,000 or something. They just, the sky's the limit, which is sometimes the beauty of working with them. The sky's the limit. So we would teach them about entrepreneurship, and then we began hosting entrepreneurship fairs. And the fair is very similar to a science fair. The young people would put their idea on a trifold poster board. And the caveat was, if you brought it to the e-fair, it had to be a business that would work in your small rural community, that you, the student, felt it would work in your community. And they had to bring the board with their business idea on it. They could bring props if they wanted, and they have to be ready to pitch to the judge when they get to the fair. And so then we host this entrepreneurship fair, and they can win money for their ideas. And if they want to start their business, they're still in high school, we help them with that. We help them, if they've got it started, we help them keep it going. We've had great successes with this project.
I'm curious to hear about, it's been going in your 7th year then. What are some of the businesses that have started out of this program, out of YEP?
Okay, out of YEP, and I'll just give you my little soapbox speech here. We've hosted 6 e-fairs. We'll be hosting our 7th e-fair in June of 2021. And those 6 e-fairs, we have engaged with over 450 youth in grades 5th through 12th. We have showcased over 225 youth businesses, and we have awarded in cash prizes to the youth over $18,000. So, wow. and at the time that I'm speaking to you right now, there are probably between 8 to 9 to 10 student-run businesses operating somewhere in the 6-county area. And albeit, because they're students, they're either part-time or seasonal, like the little boy who has the lawn mowing service. Of course, he only does that in the summer. The little gal she's an 8th grader, and she's brought this same business to the e-fair now for 3 years and won every year. So I can't imagine what her project's going to look like when she gets in high school. And she does hand lotions and soaps, and I've heard now she's added some kind of a lip gloss or something. And so she'll bring her back. And that's another caveat, that if you can bring the same business to the e-fair every year you want to, but every year you bring it, you have to add something to it. You can't just bring the same project. So some of the other businesses, of course, we're in an agriculture area. So we have a couple of cattle businesses, a sheep business. One little boy has chickens and he sells eggs. We've had a mobile welding business where they went out into the field and the pasture and welded stuff, which was there was a need for that. One little gal put herself through college massaging horses.
Wow.
She, when she went to college, she used it for her pocket money. I kind of lost touch with her. She was one of our first winners. I don't know whether she still does that, but she was raised on a ranch here south of town, so she may use it on the ranch. We've had our share of bakeries, cookies, cupcakes, those kinds of things. Photography. We actually have a little gal who graduated the junior college here a few years ago. She's working in town in a full-time job, and she's continued her photography business. So she's like our poster child, because the whole reason for starting the entrepreneurship project was to get the young people thinking entrepreneurially. What could I do? What business or career could I do that would afford me the opportunity to stay in my small rural community? Now, after 2020, of course, that's more apparent to them. You know, you can take your laptop and go to any small town if there's broadband and set up your computer and do your work. That wasn't so evident the years before. But I think that now, I really do think that'll add to it, because they know that people are working out in rural areas now. So why wouldn't I want to start my bakery or my lawn mowing business or whatever it might be? We had a young man a few years ago that won with a drone business, and he was going to fly over the farms and ranches with his drone for real estate. For if you're going to sell your farm or your ranch or your house or whatever, he'd take pictures of it.
Nice.
And he took his drone business to college with him and is doing something with it at college.
I'm excited to hear the involvement of the youth. It's so important. And I don't think people realize that. If you want to keep your youth in town or come back to town, you have to give them a reason to be there in the first place when they're young. So how are you involving them? And starting your own entrepreneurial business is a great way to do that. And the majority of them, it sounds like they work just right out of their home, or maybe share a space in a, so like the young lady that's now making lip gloss. I would like to see her products on her beauty counter, you know, where she gets her hair cut. Maybe they'd sell a few of her products for her. And that's economic development at its finest.
It is. She actually does have them in a little beauty shop in one of the little towns here. She's put them in there. So she saw the opportunity. Yes.
That's simply brilliant. And it's great that you're helping to educate our youth. It's important. Because,
now, we had two little kids a few years ago. It was another young man who was mowing lawns, but then there was another young lady who was she was potting plants, herbs, and she had some flowers, but she and him got together and decided that they could kind of combine mowing a lawn with potted plants, and maybe she could make a flower pot in the summertime and set on the patio. It was a great idea.
No kidding. I like that they met each other and figured out how to merge together and work together.
Well, and they lived in the same town, went to the same school, but they probably never even talked about it at school.
Oh, probably not. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, that's great. So, Julie, you're not really retired, are you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I worked in economic development for years and retired from that, and still keep my toe in it, because I just see the beauty of developing businesses in our small rural communities. So the youth entrepreneurship was a logical step. Absolutely. You know, to just help the kids develop their businesses.
Now tell me the 6 counties again.
Okay, we work in Baca, Bent, Crowley, Kiowa, Otero, and Prowers, which is just, if you drew a square, we go from almost from I-25 on our west over to the Kansas line, and from the north down to the Oklahoma-Texas line. So we're the whole southeast corner of the state.
Okay. How can people contact you if they're in the area and would like to get their kids involved in the YEP program? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Probably email would be the best. I check my email every single day, whether I need to or not. So it would just be Julie, Julie, Worley, Worley, 49 @gmail.com.
Excellent. Gmail.com. Excellent.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get a few more entries. So what do you think? What's your next project? What else do you want to work on? I know
Well,
I'm
we're
throwing
actually,
this on you. So yeah.
oh gosh, how long do you have? We are elevating our e-fair this year. We've allowed any project you want to bring in the past, and we're continuing to do that. But we're adding an agriculture element to it. So we're going to really focus on talking to the FFA groups because they all come up with projects for one of their segments of their program. We're adding an agriculture element, and we're adding a technology robotics element. And so those will be judged a separate judge from the other projects, mostly for the technology robotics one, because many of our judges might not know enough about technology to be able to judge it fairly. But we're going to do that. We're working on educating. We're going to work on educating the teachers because our student participation up to this point has come kind of, I go into the schools and you can see the wheels turning in some young kid's head and know he wants to enter the e-fair. But we truly see a need to get it in the curriculum in the schools. So we're actually having CSU Fort Collins come down to a teacher professional learning experience in June to talk to the teachers how you incorporate entrepreneurship into your classroom. We're bringing in a teacher from Kansas that does a terrific job of that, of getting it into your whatever you're teaching, because we feel like there's those kids sitting in the classroom that maybe didn't make it to the entrepreneurship camp, but they have an idea. So you work it into the math class or the English class, whatever it might be, and the wheels start turning. So then they can come to the e-fair.
Is there a fee for students to participate?
No, it's completely free. Now we're having it outside the school year this year for a couple of reasons. Because of COVID, a lot of the schools aren't allowing anybody back into the schools yet except the students. And then because they've compacted, which I'm sure it's this case in any state, they've compacted all the sports events into this spring period. I mean, they're going from one sport to the next and there's no extra time. So we decided if we did it after school was out, maybe the kids would be more eager to participate. It'll be a new experience, the first time we've ever done it outside the school year. But when we can get back in the buildings and do it as usual, we'll probably return it to the school year.
And this year it's in person. This year
it's absolutely correct? In person. And if you want to wear a mask, you can, but we're not requiring it. We're going to rub shoulders and shake hands and talk to people because the kids are so, I'm just hearing over and over, they're tired of online and zooming in and zooming out. And so we're going to get them together. We'll have a keynote speaker. We'll have breakout sessions, lunch, of course. You always have to serve lunch. And then the awarding of the prizes, and we'll send them home about 4:00 in the afternoon.
So to come to that event, it's also like if adults want to come, there's no charge for them to attend either? Are you
correct? There's no charge, and we have a time set aside that will be what we call the the community showcase, where people from the community can come in and look at all the projects, ask the kids questions, and then they're free to stay if they want to hear the speakers or see the breakout sessions or those kinds of things, hands-on kind of exercises that we'll do. They can stay and watch those. We don't eliminate anybody, but it's getting big enough now that you have to have a little bigger venue than we used to have for it.
Yeah, sure sounds like that. 6 counties, and it's exciting to see these projects come to fruition. And now you've done it long enough where you actually are seeing businesses that continue to go, like the young lady that's doing horse massage. I would never have thought of that as a business. And that's the beauty of working with kids, because they have ideas and there's nothing that stops them. They're not afraid of anything. They say, well, let's try this. This might be fun. And so that's a wonderful thing. So what is the date of this year? I know you said June. Do you have what date?
Yes, it's Tuesday, June 23rd, or Wednesday, June 23rd. It will be at the, and this means nothing to you, but at the Valley Trading Post Event Center south of La Junta, Colorado.
Okay.
And it'll run from 9:30 to 4.
And if anybody wants to get in touch for more information, Julie Worley 49 at gmail.com, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
You know, Julie, you and I could talk for hours and hours and hours because of our
We've done
background. We have done it. But I'm going to stop this interview here because I want to get this out to everybody. And I look forward to hearing about the results. We're going to have to take a lot of pictures this year because maybe we can showcase something in July based on what happened.
Oh, great. Yeah. We'd love to do that and get you down to see what kind of projects these kids bring on. So, yeah.
Yep, that would be a wonderful thing. All right. So, Julie, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.